Hi everyone. Today I'm going to scrapbook these two photos. Now I got them made bigger than a 4x6, they are 5x7s, just because of the size of the Mandela statue. It was just incredibly huge, and this photo with me in front just gives you an idea of the scale. So we were lucky enough to be in Johannesburg in 2019 after spending some significant time on safari, which was fantastic. So I haven't done all the safari photos yet, so keep watching in the months to come and you'll see some. These two photos don't really give us an idea of where we were. So it's a bit far to go back to South Africa from New Zealand to get one photo. So I jumped on the internet and have printed out this one, which all I did was Google Mandela Shopping Centre and up it comes. So several photos to choose from. This is the one I chose, and I just want to include it in the page because it gives some context to where we were, and again you can see where this huge statue fits into this huge complex. So it was just massive. Anyway, let's get on with the scrapbooking. So I want to put that there, and I really want to highlight this photo. So the first thing I want to do is put the toffee paper behind that. Now we know from the zip strips on the Are We There pack that toffee is a coordinating colour. So we're going to highlight this photo by mounting it on toffee. But just to soften a little bit, I'm going to do some sanding around the outside. And when I talk about sanding, I do actually mean with sandpaper. So the sandpaper, the coarser you get, the harsher the sand will be. I didn't have a lot of choice because this is what was in the garage at the time. So let's see how it comes out. So hopefully you can see a little bit closer up now, and I'll just turn this around so that all we're going to do is rub down the side of the paper. And because it's a white core, all you're effectively doing is taking the toffee colour off and giving it an etched effect along the side. I quite like effects that take away the preciseness of the paper and that straight cut edge. So this is another one that's worth keeping in your diary and in your bank of things that you can do. So it goes along with paper tearing and those sorts of things. So I'll go around the other edges. You don't need to sit and watch that, and I'll come back when that's done and show you what it looks like. So there's my piece of toffee paper, sanded around the edges. Now you can see that it's not even in parts, whether that's accidentally being too heavy-handed or whether it's design. Let's go with design. It does leave a little bit of paper on your mat, so I suggest that you clean it straight away with wet wipes, because you don't want the bits of paper getting stuck on your stamps or anything like that. So give that a good wipe down and then dry it off. And we'll bring the Versamat back in anyway and just see how this looks. So one thing I did have to be careful of and take note was to get the sanding so that it went underneath the edge of the photo, because I think if you see it like that, it just doesn't look quite finished. So I've gone underneath where the photo will sit. So I'm quite happy with that as an effect. Now this photo has this lady in it as well, which I don't know who she is. So I'm just going to try and hide her like that. So that gives a little bit of weight to our main picture. I always think odd numbers look good, so in this case, if I hadn't have got that picture off Google, they sort of look a bit lost, so I think that's a good move to include that picture there. And I'm going to put some journaling in here and a title up here to bring out, there's a little bit of yellow in here and a little bit of bronze effect to the statue, which I think goes quite well with this colour from the Are We There pack. So I'm just going to slot this in behind here, not quite to the bottom, because I do still want to highlight the main photo by having it just go around up right to the bottom and over the edges. Put that one in there, that fits. And then my title, I'm going to use the old marker alphabet, which was out last year. And I'm just going to put a hyphenated word of Joburg. The page on this side is going to be about the road trip to Joburg, which was interesting in itself. So over here it will probably say on the road to. So this will stand alone as a page on its own, but also hook in to my plan for the future. So let's go ahead and get that title in place so that I can then work around that with the spacings. So I think it's going to fit. It's about the same width as that, which is quite good. So I'm going to pop it in there, and I'm just going to use the toffee ink. So nothing particularly clever here. Just stamping it, making sure we've got good coverage and looking through. If we look through, we can see that we've got ink in all the important places. So excuse my head as actually I can bring this a bit closer so you don't have to look at my grey hairs. And I'll just pop this in here. Making sure that it's down nice and firmly. Perfect. Okay, and that blends in quite nicely. Alrighty, so cleaning your equipment is really important. So try not to just put it aside to clean later, because sometimes you get distracted or something will happen, and before you know it, a day's gone past and the ink pad's dried out and the letters are melting in the sun or something. So I'll just put those away. Right, so we've got some zip strips from our pieces. I really like this one and it goes well with the yellow and the toffee, so I'm just going to pop this one in under here, somehow like that. And over here I want to do the journaling. So this was our last full day in Johannesburg, so we had some great fun shopping. Got a few souvenirs to bring to the family. Had a nice lunch out. And then we went back to the hotel, packed our bags and went out for dinner as well. So it was really cool. So I'm just going to slot that in there. I'm trying to get a frame around that photo frame of white. So I'll just bring that yellow piece in a bit so it can have a bit of a frame as well. Okay, that's good. And then, now these aren't zip strips, but because I liked that one, and I love this chicken icon, so I've actually cut this out of the whole piece of paper. So on the edge of this paper there's a little gap, so you can manage to cut off 1/2 inch and get a piece of paper the same size as a zip strip. So then I'll just put that down there, a little bit down there to do that. So I'm going to stick that down before we go any further. Then I want to add some stickers and embellishments and things. So looking at our sticker sheet, I really like this Having a Great Time, but it won't quite fit. So I might put that on the other page. I think Landmark will fit this one because it certainly is a landmark. And possibly the shopping bag somewhere. Maybe the travel guide. There's quite a few possibilities there, so we'll see how we go. Journaling is an important part of any scrapbook page. It doesn't matter how neat or untidy your handwriting is, the fact that you've written it gives it a certain uniqueness and a bit of authenticity. And it's always good to have a bit of an idea about what you're going to write before you start and a general idea of how much room it's going to take up. So because this page is flowing on from this page, I'll start with after our trip back to Johannesburg. We got back to the hotel and we stayed late, got up the next morning with the intention to go shopping. And then on the way home, we went via markets and things back on the way back to the hotel. So there's lots to put in there. So I'll show you when it's all done. Now that that's all done, I just feel it's a little bit stark around the edges, so I'm just going to sponge a little bit of toffee around those edges before I pop it in the album. Just a very light hint of toffee is all I want.